Welcome to the Talking Shh podcast. That's right. We'll be talking about music, albums, live shows, bands we love, bands not so much. Again, we're talking shh. Join me, Scott Nokon, and Stephen James. Hey, and we are back. We will actually talk about AC/DC. We kind of dipped our toe, and then I kind of took us down this whole other path, which was appropriate. So from last episode, if you want to make this an immersive experience, right, Stephen? So everybody close their eyes. Now we're walking into Nissan Stadium. So picture any stadium. We're grabbing an overpriced beer. Everybody can relate to that. We walk into to the tunnel, and we go down the steps. We walk down to the field. We show our yellow pass. They let us through. We walk up to the front. We go into the pit area. Again, very appreciative of the opportunity to do that. And we see the remaining couple songs of Pretty Reckless. Very good band. And at 9 p.m., AC/DC starts. So, Stephen, what I'm going to do, and I want your feedback.
Let's go.
As always, because we talk.
Let's go. Yes, we do.
I'm going to go through the set, and feel free just to opine on any songs.
And just so you know, I'm a big AC/DC fan. So
yeah.
We go back to Bon Scott, whatever. However, let's go. Sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt.
100%. No, it's good. Yeah.
And I love AC/DC.
And offline, I was saying, I'm not the biggest, but my appreciation meter shot up through the roof, Stephen.
Good. That's awesome.
Again, I know the songs, I know the albums. We'll talk about in a bit, are you a Brian Johnson or are you a Bon Scott? Decidedly, I have my druthers. Strong opinions on both.
I have my druthers.
What it really comes down to is this is a band that is probably on their last tour.
Absolutely.
And the fact 52 years in, formed in 1973, they're still bringing it. Clearly. Yeah. And not to be silly, but clearly, aside from, Brian Johnson's been in the band for 45 years. Angus Young, they've had some tragedy.
Yeah.
Some changes. They've had some other issues, turmoil.
He's 70 years old.
Brian Johnson?
Angus.
Okay. Brian, I think, is a little older than that, right?
Probably.
Yeah. So I'm going to go through the set from in recording.
Let's go, because I definitely want to put my 2 cents in.
Please. So they kick off the set with "If You Want Blood, You Got It."
Damn, Brian Johnson's 77.
Son of a. Yeah. So we were okay. Well, when they say you can see the, God, what's to say? It's not the whites of your eyes. That's stupid. That does.
No, I get
it. Is it the whites of your eyes? Is that?
I get it.
I guess here we are. I'm lame if I forgot the saying, but we could see as clearly, Stephen, as I can see you right here on our screen. I was no further than 15 feet from Brian Johnson.
Isabel, when I showed Isabel that video this morning, I was like, that's how close we were to you two.
That's awesome. Yeah.
Yeah.
So the whites of their eyes. Yeah, that's the same. The whites of their eyes. Cool. So Brian Johnson, what a performer.
For 77.
Wow. I was thinking 73 without even looking up. And, like you just said, not to repeat everything, but Angus being 70. But 77?
Yeah.
Dude, like, I hope when I'm 77, I can get out of bed.
Right.
This guy is doing a 2-hour plus set in
every other night.
Sold out, by the way. And he wasn't at tip-top health shape either. No. Aside from the issues he had before, he had a boot on his right leg. Oh,
really?
And there seemed to be one of those, like, pulsing, like, kind of heated contraptions that was on it, maybe more like pulse and massage, because I think he hurt his ankle and maybe somewhere in his
the show must go on.
Yeah, hey, calf.
We did a show with my broken leg.
You did, so it can be done, and you're flipping drummer and you played with a broken leg. That's awesome. So he was doing that, and he was during the, and we were so close when the mic was down, he would say, I need you guys to help me, like sing the backups. He still did all his parts. He didn't like bail out on anything.
Yeah.
But he didn't go off stage and suck down oxygen. He not because he didn't leave the stage once during that whole time.
That's amazing.
Again, we were that close. We could see it. We could, again, see him just like kind of sometimes kind of straining a little bit. You could tell.
Yeah, of course. I mean, 77.
Yeah, dude, like getting
so what?
Up.
You're still out there fucking balls to the walls.
Fucking rock and roll show.
Yes,
77.
Sir. Yes, sir.
Okay. Where my level of appreciation went up, it's climbing even higher now of just being able to do that. I hope I can put on half the performance, a quarter of that performance in 22 years. If we're, not if, still
we will
write music. Yeah, that'd be awesome. So if you want blood, you got it. Wow. Great. Back in Black, number 2 song.
Yeah.
Demon Fire, a new song that was off of their newer record. I'm sorry, I have to look. Power Up. It's on my t-shirt. That came out in 2020. So this is the Power Up tour that they're on. Shot Down in Flames.
Good song.
Thunderstruck.
Yeah, there you go.
Did you know, Stephen? Thunderstruck currently is on the Billboard charts, the #1 hard rock song on the charts in front of
it should be.
Sleep Token, which has the #1 record. Thunderstruck is the biggest based on streams AC/DC song ever. Thunderstruck.
Was that the song in the Stephen King movie?
Yeah, I think so.
I think it was.
No, because it was Thunderstruck's on Razor's Edge.
It's a great song, though.
Yeah.
Thunderstruck. Yeah.
And I have all these facts I'll go into in a second when I eventually get through the Have a Drink on Me, Hell's Bells, A Shot in the Dark. That's another new one, I believe, right? Stiff Upper Lip.
Yep.
That one, okay. Had I heard that song before? Sure. The crowd response, and the crowd, by the way, was dancing and moving, and what was cool, they were selling a
with
ton
the
of
little devil ears.
Yeah, the devil ears.
The little red
and they
devil
were flashing red.
Yeah.
So again, find any video. You can get the Nashville video probably on YouTube after the show. It's already out.
I'd buy a pair if I was there. Fuck it.
I looked at that. They were $10 outside. And just in principle, I won't buy a scalp shirt. I won't buy any of that stuff.
Hell no.
If you guys have sold 200 million records, I'm not buying it just on principle.
No shit. No.
Inside, they were selling them for $25.
Okay.
I kid you not. If there were 50,000 people wearing those, in attendance it was 70. If there were 50,000 people wearing those, that wouldn't have been that number may be too low.
Would have been cool is if they dropped the lights and saw. Maybe they did, but it would be cool if they dropped the lights to see how many people had the.
Well, they did. You can see.
Oh, did they? I figured.
Yeah, it was awesome because they were kind of flickering.
Yeah.
Devil horns.
So cool.
Stiff Upper Lip though had huge reaction. Highway to Hell. That's where they did the first set of pyro.
Let's go, Bon Scott.
Shoot to Thrill.
Yep.
Sin City.
Yeah.
Rock and Roll Train.
Yep.
Dirty Deeds.
That is my all-time favorite AC/DC song ever.
Yeah, it's great. High Voltage, which was off their first record, right?
Yep.
So they were living in the Bon Scott era, a respectful amount of time.
Good for them.
Yeah. Riff Raff.
Yep.
You Shook Me All Night Long.
Back in Black
good. Just like a huge crowd sing along. Whole Lot of Rosie. You forget and I'll say this, and guys, comment below and all that. That's fine. We talk but we speak truth too, right, Stephen?
We do.
Musically, I think the structure is pretty basic, right? Of AC/DC. It's meat and potatoes. Talent-wise, though, and I don't have the same appreciation. And you're a drummer, and I just make noises with my mouth, right? But I don't play guitar. I tried, and I can't do it. I think, same thing. Basic chords. When Angus got into his guitar solo, it was like, all right, and it was long. It was 10 minutes, but hey, at that point, as the band, you deserve a little bit of a rest.
Yeah, absolutely.
But the I gained again, my appreciation meter is climbing even higher now. My hand's even out of view of the camera, Stephen. Basic or not, no, basic or not, it's structured. There's some, you know, complexity tied into it. His riffs, their precision. They had a bass player. I need to look it up. This guy has been filling in on the tour.
Yeah, hey, let me just stop you right there. I would have really rather. I know the bass player quit a couple years ago. There was rumor that Phil Rudd was going to come back and play drums, which obviously that didn't happen. So to me, it's like it's still AC/DC, but it's a couple of backup musicians.
Yeah.
Obviously, his brother passed, unfortunately, and his cousin Stevie is playing guitar, rhythm guitar now, which is fun. Yeah. But to me, is going to see AC/DC. Brian is doing the best he can. I can tell he's pushing it. He doesn't sound like he did back in the early 80s with the original Back in Black. However, if any of you understand this, Google Back in Black with Bon Scott, because Bon Scott was the original singer for this song. It was a little structured differently, but when you hear it, you're like, what the hell? I didn't know it existed. And somebody's like, oh, you heard the Back in Black with Bon Scott? And I was like, shit, no, I want to hear it. And it starts with kind of like the chorus. But anyhow, it's such a good version. But I have to say, when you listen to the original Back in Black with Brian Johnson, he just killed it. The way he was up and down, his accent, the way he articulated the verse, the song, the lyrics, it was just stellar. But if anybody doesn't know, Bon Scott was the original singer for Back in Black, so Google that. It's kind of interesting.
You mentioned that before, and I kind of forgot about it, but going back to it, yeah, you're right. I was pulling up and I jumped into Wikipedia, and it takes you down this friggin' rabbit hole. But yeah, current members. So again, Brian Johnson, which technically, Stephen, yeah, I'm sure you know this, being a big fan.
Yeah,
he's the third singer of AC/DC.
Really?
Yeah.
Shut up.
Yeah.
Who's number two?
Get out of here. Number one.
Bruce Dickinson?
No. Dave Evans was the original.
I did
singer.
See that.
Yeah. Angus Young's still in there. Malcolm Young, who is his older brother, he passed away.
God rest his soul. Great rhythm guitar player.
Yeah, like you said, Phil Rudd was drumming, but then he left in 2023. Cliff Williams.
Cliff?
No, sorry, I'm wrong. I can't read. I'm trying to read here. Who is their current drum?
Yeah.
If you get to it before I do, just please jump in. But their bass player. Yeah, their bass player. This is a Chris Chaney. I go, God, why does that name sound familiar?
Why does it say Phil Rudd?
So he's our age. Yeah, he was.
Larry Van Creeft was the original.
Yeah.
Chris Chaney's filling in.
Yeah. So he's from Jane's Addiction.
No kidding.
Yeah.
Hello.
Which they're never going to tour again. So he's available. But yeah, he took the place. He's the touring bass player. And I say like he was young. Technically, yeah. So he's our age, but he's still 20 years younger than he's 22 years younger than
Cliff Williams. Sorry.
Yeah. So Chris Chaney, the bass player, because there's this guy, he stands out. It's like, who's this young lad? 55, if you want to call it a young lad. I believe I'm a young lad as well, Stephen James. This guy was just a power bass player, and I'll finish the second, I promise. But I was curious, and I could hear some guys talking behind me about how he was like a studio musician. So I looked up now. So he's done a stint in Jane's Addiction. He was a member of Alanis Morissette's touring band. He played with Taylor Hawkins, Camp Freddy, if you remember that whole kind of setup they had in LA. So pretty much a studio. He a musician, Methods of Mayhem. He played with Slash. He played with Shinedown. He played with Eddie Vedder. So as it's listed here in his, give him a little. He held it down. He was bass matters, I think. You know,
and let's not forget that when Brian Johnson was having issues with his hearing, who stepped in to play for a few concerts was Axl Rose.
Absolutely, yeah.
So that was kind of an interesting introduction to, if everybody wants to Google that. I'm not sure I liked it, but hey, you know what? Somebody's got to step up and play the place. So Axl was what they chose, and hey, let's go, Axl.
Yeah. So finish out Chris Chaney again, because that name sounded familiar. Like, did I run into this guy? And maybe years ago. Session musician from LA, played with Joe Satriani, Joe Cocker, Shakira, Slash, Adam Lambert, Alanis Morissette, as mentioned, Avril Lavigne, Lavigne, DeGraw, Cher, John Fogerty, Lisa Marie Presley, Meatloaf, Rob Zombie, James Blunt, Shinedown, like I said, Celine Dion. So he's all over the place, right? Yeah, again, just like get a guy who can play a number of different styles. He was great. I noticed this in Judas Priest as well, where I think it's written into their contract that even though Glenn Tipton and KK Downing and Noah Bong are both playing in Judas Priest, the guitarists are up kind of with Rob Halford. Why I got onto Judas Priest goes back to what Steven said before. We're like, we're squirrel. But at a point, Stevie and the bass player, Chris, they came out like 10 feet up to their microphone to do background vocals on a number of songs.
And I love that they went back. Same thing.
Yeah, they went up and back. And so that to me just kind of, it by design and as it should, pretty much put the emphasis on Angus and Brian.
I think that was the coolest thing ever.
Yeah.
I've always been, from the day one when I saw them, I was like, oh, they come up, they do the thing. When Malcolm and Cliff would come up and they'd go back and do their thing, just hang in the back and let Brian or holy crap. The idea of let the guys that are doing the magic in the song.
So getting through the set.
Bon Scott or Angus. Or Brian, sorry.
So I think I left off with You Shook Me All Night Long, Whole Lot of Rosie, Let There Be Rock. In those last three songs, they did a huge confetti explosion. I grabbed some of it as it was floating down because it's AC/DC specific confetti. So I have a few. And when I got home, I took the confetti out and then I took my wristband and I put it into a little Ziploc. And Melissa goes, "What are you, like a 12-year-old girl?" I go, "Yeah, I'm going to put it in my scrapbook." "Yes, I am."
"Why not?"
"I'm going to put it in my scrapbook."
"Why not?"
She goes, Let There Be Rock. And they go, "Good night, Nashville." We know there's more songs because you can find their set list. And I had it on my phone. TNT, so good.
TNT.
And I'll say my favorite AC/DC song, For Those About to Rock.
We Salute You.
Yeah. With the cannons that came out. So on the stage, and because we're in front of it, I've said that a few times. So we're in front of it. But when they go off, it's freaking loud. It's like, okay, I won't be able to hear for 3 days. There were 8 on the stage, and they were coordinated with For Those About to Rock event. And there was pyro. Like I said, there was cannons that led into the finale. It was a show, man. It was a show. And they were tight. They were like, it was just spot on. They just nailed it. It was such a fantastic show. Seeing Metallica a couple weeks ago, I was like on a high from that. Just because of my personal ranking and preference in bands, and I'll let you get into your part, Steven. Sorry. Was Metallica still sits above that. But let me tell you, the last time I saw, and I had this on my phone, the last time I saw AC/DC, 1986, Who Made Who tour, AC/DC in Queensryche, August 13th at Irvine Bay.
Wow. Lucky bastard.
Yeah, but that's how long it's been. What is that?
What
40
year?
years? Yeah, 40 years, 39
Yeah,
years to be
easily.
precise. But yeah, 77-year-old Brian Johnson did it, man. It's like if I could, I'm just saying this for no other reason than just wanting to have that experience. If I knew I could have the same seats, I'd head up to Chicago this weekend.
Yeah. I
That's
mean,
where they're at next. Yeah.
you know what makes me feel happy is that you saw something that grabbed you and then it makes you want to go and see it again. It was the same thing with us seeing you too. But for me, it's like seeing Iron Maiden. It's like I can't get enough of it. It's like as long as they tour, I'm gonna go see that band play. I'm jealous. I've never seen AC/DC live. One of my favorite bands. There's been a couple of bands I've been in where I'm adamant about playing Dirty Deeds on the drum
Mm-hmm.
because it's such a fun song to sing. And the part where they're going,
Yeah.
I flip over to the hi-hat and do the same thing to emulate that. You don't hear that very much. But Brian Johnson still taking it to the head, Angus Young taking it to the head, and Stevie Young, I know it's their cousin, but the other
He's still
musicians,
there.
they're
Yeah.
still pulling it off. And people I would imagine that thing sold out. If you could tell me, was that thing filled to
Oh yeah.
capacity?
Yeah. 100%.
And
100%. So
when
that
I've
was a
heard
set list. Yeah.
I've
So
heard
let me
that.
run through. Sorry, Stephen.
No, go ahead. No, this is your
Like in our
gig.
last, let's say 5 minutes or so. I think many of you guys are familiar, but if you're not with their history, let's kind of hit on this. I'll mention their studio albums. I have their record sales as well. I know Stephen, you always like those details. So the Bon Scott era, 73 to 79, formed by Scottish-born brothers Malcolm and Angus Young. Early albums built a cult following in Australia. Charismatic and rebellious frontman Bon Scott, and yeah, there's definitely folks that are in the Bon Scott school for sure, and there's others in the Brian Johnson. I'm Brian Johnson, but I will tell you, maybe I don't need to pick one or the other because I was listening to Highway to Hell and Let There Be Rock, like in my drive just the past couple of days, and it's pretty crazy when you look at. So High Voltage came out in 75, TNT 75 in Australia only. Then they did a re-release in America. Dirty Deeds in 76. Let There Be Rock in 77. Follow the years here, right? Power Edge in 78. Highway to Hell 79. A Death of Your Singer. Back in Black in 80. For Those About to Rock in 81. Flick of the Switch in 83. So from 75 until 81, they didn't skip a year and they had to replace a singer, which you could argue at Highway to Hell, certainly Back in Black, and we'll get into the details. They were like there and then climbed even higher with Back in Black and For Those About to Rock. So they were already like, you know, major players at that point. Skipped a few years, 7 to be precise, with Razor's Edge. Skipped 18 years, Black Ice in 2008. 6 years, Rock or Bust, and then Power Up in 2020. So not counting special releases and EPs or any of that live releases. 13 records in 52 years of existence. 51 years of releasing recorded content.
Amazing.
Overall, worldwide, over 200 million records sold.
That's crazy.
Led by Back in Black, second largest selling record of all time, 50 million copies.
Yeah.
I listened to that whole record again yesterday, driving to work.
Good.
Oh my God, it's like banger, 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 banger. It's
I
literally.
remember when I was in between what instrument I decided to play. I'd already been playing drums. I played bass, and then I got a guitar. I actually got a Paul Stanley guitar. And I learned to play the entire album of Back in Black. Was
Yeah.
such a fun. I mean, it's such a good album. Every song just shreds. Such a good record.
Yeah, 100%. Let's see. Let's run through this. The Sorry, let me get my stuff together here. So album by album, and we'll kind of end on this. Overall, like the show was so great. And Stephen, I do hope that, and maybe they'll announce some more shows. I know they came through. They played the Rose Bowl like weeks ago.
Yeah.
But yeah, if you get a chance, go. I'm so glad I did. And part of it now, it's more, and we talk about this a lot. Every show is just obviously this show really is an homage to our love of music, right? All things
Absolutely.
music. Talking is more a matter of play on words, but it's really just something that seeing bands now. That's why I went and saw Billy Idol. I'd never seen Billy Idol. How much more is he going to tour? Let's go do it. Metallica, I think Metallica could probably do this easily at the same level for the next decade, but they're here and I wanted to see them. AC/DC may never be back after this tour. I want to see them. So I'm looking at other shows, right? I'm looking at other shows that are coming up and going through Nashville and making it a point. Jeff Tate's going to be here in Franklin, Tennessee in September. I already have my tickets. I want to see Jeff Tate. Every time he comes through town, I want to see Jeff Tate. So this is more about like, again, it's about the experience and take it in while you can, because again, like Chris Cornell, I had not seen him for years, and then that happened.
You never know.
Shifting it back to on AC/DC. So let's just run these through on their albums, Stephen, if I may, and then we'll end on this. So this is a breakdown of their albums, the year they came out, which I talked to, but then I'm going to add in their overall sales. This is estimated global sales, rounded for clarity, because we're all about delivering a clear, precise message week after week. High Voltage, the international version, 1976, 7 million plus.
Insane.
TNT, which was an Australia only release. That's a cool record. You can find it all on YouTube. You probably stream it too, because that kind of was some of the songs, hence TNT, that was mixed in with High Voltage. But those were released separately years apart, but they include all the totals in the High Voltage. So 7 million plus. Not too bad for your very first record.
Crazy.
Over the years. Dirty Deeds, 12 million. That came out in 76. Let There Be Rock dropped off 6 million, because Dirty Deeds was up there. Power Edge, 78. That dropped to 4. That wasn't as big, but still, from an overall perspective, it's up there. Okay, talk about now 1 year later in sign, Highway to Hell, 17 million, going up there. You're climbing that freaking, like, you're climbing that tree of sales. Back in Black in 80, 1 year later, we talked about this already, 50 million plus, the second biggest record of all time next to Thriller. That's saying something, For those about to rock, again, what can you do? And I think that it's reflected in the sales. It's not their lowest selling record, but it's reflected in the sales. And really, when you go through that record, there's not a lot of really, really good songs in there. I think year after year after year, they kind of hit a point. The opening track, For Those About to Rock, which is also the song they closed the set with, which is one of my all-time favorite songs from AC/DC, that kind of is a high point of that record. 10 million. Flick of the Switch, 3. Fly in the Wall, 3. Blow Up Your Video, 4. Razor's Edge, after a 12-year hiatus from recording, 10 million. Ball Breaker, 5. Stiff Upper Lip, 3 million. Black Ice, 8, which that was a really good record that debuted pretty high in the charts too. Rocker Bust in 14.3. Power Up, even Power Up in 2020. Their latest record, still over 2 million copies. This tour, the 2025 Power Up tour, which I just was able to experience, and Stephen, you will too, I know it. It just marks a triumphant return to North America stadiums after nearly a decade. And yeah, they delivered. It started April 10th in Minneapolis. The set list looks to be pretty much the same every night. Two more shows, including Nashville, which they just did last night. One more show on the 24th. By the time you listen to this would have happened. But May 24th, Soldier Field, and May 28th in Cleveland, Ohio. That's it for the dates. And that's it for us. Guys, as always, Stephen, thank you for joining. Just wanted to share my experience with AC/DC this week, but Stephen's being at one of your all-time favorite bands. You can live vicariously, and I know you go to shows. You went to Maiden many, many times. You went to U2, so we just share those experiences. We talk through it. We love what we do. We appreciate you guys tuning in week after week.
Absolutely.
Wheelie Q Barbecue. Go get it.
Let's go.
WheelieQ.com. Get it. It's time to grill. We're heading right into to a holiday weekend. So, guys, until next time, thank you and see ya. Thanks again for tuning in to the show. We'll be back every week with a brand new episode. Make sure you check us out on Instagram at Talking Show, and also listen on Spotify or wherever you can stream a podcast. See ya.